know how to give advice without seeming like a know-it-all. Um, she wasn't one of those people. She didn't know it all, and she didn't walk around like she did. She had her own life experiences, and she's made her own mistakes. And there's no perfect person, and she believed that the only perfect person to her was Jehovah. And he allowed you to live life and experience and go through it and get up and try again. And that's how she was. That's how she lived. Doesn't always feel like we have more time. It feels like we do, but we don't. And I was actually just telling my best friend this. I was like, when you lose people close to you, like your mom, your dad, a sibling, maybe even, a child, for anyone who's a parent, that's the ultimate loss. Sorry. Um, it really makes you think about, are you happy? You know what I'm saying? Are you happy with that job? Are you happy in that relationship? Are you happy with your home? Hell, are you happy with your car? You know what I'm saying? Your hairdo, your body, you know? It just really makes you say to yourself, am I happy with these things? Because if you're not and you died tomorrow, that's it. That's it. It's over. You don't get a do-over. You don't get to say, dang, I wish I would have got that degree, or dang, I wish I would have applied for that job, or I wish I would have bought that dress, or whatever. Materials. But I'm just saying, like, you don't get another chance. This is one of the reasons why I started doing this podcast. It wasn't, obviously, my sister-in-law had not passed yet, but I have made a lot of choices due to the circumstance that I was in, and also due to what others needed from me. And by others, the main thing would be my kids and probably my grandmother. Those are the three people who a lot of my choices early on were what was in the best interest for them. You know, before I had my daughter, I got pregnant my senior year, as I've talked about on my podcast before. I had dreams. I thought I was going to join the Air Force and probably do something with JAG, which is the law, the legal part of the military. And whether you be a lawyer, a paralegal, legal secretary, whatever they do, that's what I thought. But then I also had a slight thing about doing voiceovers or being on the radio, possibly doing print modeling and things like that, traveling. I thought I would have been a lot more places than I've been. And thank goodness, I've been a couple of places. I'm sure there's someone who hasn't been anywhere that I've been, so that's good. But then there are people, I have friends that go to Thailand and Dubai and Africa and a bunch of places that I would love to go, but I can't. I'm broke, guys. But I just have dreams, things that I would really love to accomplish that would make me happy if I left tomorrow. But if I died tomorrow, my soul wouldn't have lived the way I would have liked to live. And it's definitely, once again, choices. I chose to, have intercourse at such a young age, and I got pregnant, and I don't regret my daughter, and I do personally think that she helped save me, because I was also not in a happy place my senior year. I was happy in the sense of looking to my future. I was like, oh, college, the Air Force, these things are going to make me happy. These things are going to change how I feel. But my daughter did that. And then her sister did that. They are my happy place. Their love is unconditional. They don't want to see anything bad happen to me, and they don't think anything negative of me, at least I hope. They let me be me. They don't expect, even though they're our kids, we have to take care of our children, but they don't really expect anything from us. They don't demand. Well, no, I got teenagers. They demand, but you know what I mean. Their love just comes from me being their mom. It doesn't come from me buying them something or me doing something and then they want something back. Their love is just one way. They love you. And that's something we get from our kids that you can't get from any other relationship. You can't get that from friends, because friendship is usually based on some type of give and take. Even your partners, whether it's your husband or your wife, they don't love you without something from you. It comes with them feeling like they're getting something in return. But your kids, even if you notice, even kids that are abused, unfortunately, and it sucks, you can see the love they still end up having for their parents, because that's just how it works when it comes to your children. Their love is just one way. They love you. But my point is that losing her just really puts things in perspective, and I want to make her presence on this earth worth it. Her kindness, the way she carried herself, how she was, I want to make that a purpose. And being happy and doing things that make you happy and doing things to make others happy without looking for anything in return, helping someone out, offering the help, listening with an open heart and with no judgment and no need to respond. Those are the types of things that make her presence on this earth worth it, because that was how she was. You know what I'm saying? She just had a good heart, guys. She really, really did. And she actually reminds me a little bit of my grandmother. My grandmother has always been someone whose door was always open. Anybody could show up at her door and need her, and she was there. And my grandmother is never judgmental, never. She really has a good soul too, and always means well. And once again, there's no such thing as a perfect person. Everyone has made mistakes in their life. Everyone has been upset before. Everyone has maybe gotten angry at somebody. But when you mean well, when you're wrong. When you have to man up and apologize and say, you know what, I didn't handle this the proper way. And it doesn't matter what your reaction or the action prior was, I know this isn't me and this isn't the way things should be handled. And that's how my sister-in-law Wanda, that's how she carried herself. She never felt like she was above any of us. And I mean, she never made a mistake with me personally, but if she had, she would have been perfectly okay saying, hey, I'm sorry. She's never had to apologize to me because she never did anything to me. But I'm just saying she was that type of person that if she was in the wrong, if she hurt your feelings, if you took something out of context, she'd be 100% okay with saying, hey, my bad. And that's it. She didn't need an excuse. She didn't need to explain it. She would just say, hey, I'm sorry. That's not the way this should have went, or that's not the way I wanted this to go. And that was it. And you can forgive her because, one, you knew her apology was authentic. You knew that she wasn't just saying it to say it, or felt like, okay, you think I'm wrong, so I'm just going to be like, oh, I'm sorry, but you don't really mean it because you don't think you were wrong. No, that wasn't her. She would have said it. That would have meant that she knew that she owed it to you, and she owned up to it. And as much as I'm hurting, and you know what? Actually, I want to throw out that this is why I also did this podcast, because right now she has family that's devastated. She was just my sister-in-law, and to me, she was more like a big sister for me. The big sister I wish I had. The type of big sister that, would call you, check up on you, invite you for coffee, ask you how your kid's doing, hang out, the type of big sister she was to her siblings. But she has a whole blood family that is going to miss her, and I have to be here for them. I have to make sure that they know that they can talk to me and cry. And sometimes it's hard when you lose someone and they're not your blood relative, so you don't even know how to express that you're hurting too, or who can you talk to, because that's her family. They're like, this is my sister, this is my aunt, this is my mom, this is my wife, this is my cousin. We lost someone. So having the podcast helps me express the pain that I'm feeling that I can't express to anyone. Well, actually, and my best friend, thank goodness I have her to really just say, this hurts, this sucks. And I can cry and she'll listen. And she's my best friend, guys. She's another beautiful soul that walks this earth just kind of open. And she's a great one. But, it's just hard to wrap my head around, It is. And I've had many of conversations with Wanda that I actually didn't have with some people, even my best friend, because sometimes it's good to talk to someone that, even though obviously she knew me, she knew my life, whatever, it was nice to talk to someone that wouldn't hurt you with your pain. She never said anything to me negative, or never threw at me any conversation we ever spoke about, or never shut me down. You know, I could express to her my pain about what I was feeling in that moment or how I felt someone was treating me. And she would say, she literally said to me, "You don't deserve that." You know what I'm saying? You don't have to